When you hear Duke Deuce over the loudspeaker at Carter Finley, you know it's an NC State defensive third down. But what we need from the defense is to say Duke Deuces and get off the field.
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
That was a lame pun, but y'all still love it. What's up, Wolfpack Nation? It's time to get locked in with Locked On. Thanks for making Locked On Wolfpack your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Our Tuesday show is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is now here, and you got to head over to the FanDuel app today and get in on all of the action. Head on over to FanDuel.com in order to get started today. Happy Tuesday to all. As always, I'm Grayson Boone, joined by former Wolfpack defensive tackle Kenton Gibbs. Kenton, I do believe that one of our most resounding takeaways from not just the UVA win, but also the ECU win, the defensive struggles to get off of the field on both third and fourth down. And ironically, that will connect to our Locked On Look of the Day here in a couple minutes later in the show. But both ECU and UVA were killing us on third and long repetitively, keeping the defense on the field, wearing them down. The longer your defense gets extended out onto the field, the thinner they get. The more tired they are, the less tackles they're able to complete. And that's something we've seen here repetitively in the first couple weeks. What are your overall thoughts on the way the defense has looked in those late downs, third and fourth?
Tackling to football is rebounding to basketball. It's basically the same thing. That's how you end a defensive possession. But even beyond that, let's take it a step further. Third downs in general, I get not wanting to get beat deep. I understand if you know your corners aren't the most fleet of foot, hey, there's some big-time guys in the ACC. There's some fast dudes in the ACC. You might not want to press and all that good stuff. I get it. But have you ever considered playing the sticks, perhaps? Saying, you know what? Yes, we understand that our normal landmark is at 8 to 9 yards, but it's 3rd and 7. Maybe we want to play up to 6, make them beat us a little deeper, perhaps. I don't know. I think that would require a high level of intelligence from the players and the coaches, but I mean, hey, y'all are getting paid to do this now. You're not just getting scholarships anymore, okay? You're not just doing it for the love of the Block S. Hey, maybe, we can figure this out. And so ultimately, I do look at that, and I say that's going to be an Achilles heel because like I said about rebounding and tackling and getting off the field on third down, it's all the same for this reason. You don't end a possession on defense till you get a rebound. You don't end a possession defensively till you get a stop on third or fourth down. You just don't end it. And so we keep seeing the drives that never end because we refuse to get off the field on third down, be it missing tackles, be it not rallying to the ball, be it allowing, intermediate passing games to rip us apart. It's just not good enough. We're just not where we need to be in that regard.
As I harped on the other day in the post-game live on Saturday, the opening drive for UVA that ultimately resulted in a 39-yard rush on 4th and 1, just that drive, UVA converted on a 3rd and 9, another 3rd and 9, a 3rd and 7, actually 3rd and 7, they made it really short, and then went 39 yards to the house on 4th and 1. If you want to zoom into their next drive, they converted a 3rd and 5, another 3rd and 5, and also a 3rd and 11 before also scoring at the end of that drive as well. You can't sustain that as a defense because UVA, I'll be honest, I thought their offense was decent, but imagine doing those same tendencies against like Notre Dame or against Miami or against Florida State. You're going to get shredded to pieces. So it's imperative to hammer this point home now. The defense has got to execute on third down, and especially when it's 3rd and long. 3rd and 11, how many times do we see the opposing offenses complete that last season? It made our hair go gray. Maybe you don't have hair like Kenton, and if you do have hair, you wanted to rip it out like I did. Sorry, that was a stray. That was a wild.
It's all right. It's all right. I will agree that, not getting off the field on third down will make you pull out hair you don't even have. I'm not going to lie. I for sure was reaching up here saying to myself, what's going on Saturday? So I get where you're coming from, Grace.
But to watch that trend already seemingly continue early in the season, it's just like you get the war flashbacks. It's PTSD. It's like, no, I can't sit through another defense like this again this season. And I think this is a super important point to bring up this year, because one of the first times it really bit us in the you-know-what last year was against Wake Forest. Late in that game, we had a 10-point lead, and Wake Forest repetitively, I think the quarterback, ironically, just QB keep on like 3rd and 9, and he kept getting it and kept getting it and kept getting it. And then Damon Claiborne took it the rest of the way, I think not once but twice, and we lost that game by 4 points. Yeah, Damon Claiborne, he still plays for Wake Forest. You got to see him again on Thursday night. If you can't get off the field on 3rd down or in some cases 4th and short, he's going to make you pay for it.
Oh, I'm not even worried about getting off the field against Damon Claiborne. It's 2 things that are more important to getting off the field on 3rd down: your run fits and tackling. And I promise you, you don't do him well against that kid, oh, it's going to be a parade inside his city, because he is going to be in the end zone having a good old time. And that stadium out there in Winston-Salem, I believe the capacity is about, what, 30,000 out there?
About 30, 35, yeah.
Yeah. The 5,000 people out of there are going to be having a great time. They're going to be having a ball. They're going to be having a ball in that stadium, because I am telling you right now, the way to go, if you're going to stop a running back like Damon Claiborne, it is to make him go sideline to sideline. It is to rally there. And when you rally, you have to finish it off. Make the tackle. Leverage the ball into your help and make a damn tackle, which will show you in a few how important making a tackle is.
Yeah, the lockdown look of the week, like I said, is extremely relevant to this topic of conversation. So I say all that to say the defensive struggles that you've seen so far, they are almost directly linked to not being able to complete tackles, namely on 3rd down. Because honestly, if you look up the metrics on 1st and 2nd down, defense is pretty good. But I hate to break this news to all of y'all, you get 4 downs when you got the ball. So if NC State can find a way to harness the energy that they put forth on 1st and 2nd down, like Sebastian Harsh looks like the best 1st and 2nd down player I've ever seen in my life. Ian Sloan has been all over the place as well. It's just that, like, I think it also ties to the pressure on the quarterback. That's something we haven't quite mastered yet. Off the top of my head, I don't think we've registered a sack yet. We did not get Caton Hauser and certainly did not get Chandler Morris last week. That also ties directly into, if you can register a sack early in the down, that only creates more pressure on the opposing offense to get it right. And so there's so many different things tying to one central point here. It's execution for the NC State defense. It has not been there consistently enough. And you have to fix this ASAP, or maybe you don't fix it ASAP, and that's why the offense leads the way. But you got to find a solution to this quick, fast, and in a hurry.
You're absolutely right, Grayson. And we have 1 sack on the year by Caden Fordham. So,
one.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
there's that. I'm telling you all right now, this, like Grayson said, you got to get this fixed, and you got to get this fixed fast, because there are small things, there are little things, right? There are little things that turn into big things. There's like obvious, like, oh, you know, if you leave the stove on all the time, one day you might burn down your house. That's a little thing that can turn into a big thing. This is a big thing. This is a, hey, you've got to, you know, you've got to not turn all the power switches off, or you can't flip the breakers for every single thing in your house to save money on your electricity, because the food's going to rot and your house is going to be hot when you get home. This is one of those things. This is very big, and this is very basic. Do not do this thing poorly, or it will kill you. Do not leave your windows and doors open when you are cooking if you live in a wooded area with animals around. It is a terrible idea for you. It's that type of thing where it's like, hey, you can't not tackle. You can't continue to give up big 3rd downs. You can't continue to give up big 4th downs. You cannot live like that. Again, Grace and I are happy to have the first 2 wins. We would never say, oh, we would have rather had this team be 0-2. Never in a million years. But with that in mind, if you do not clean this stuff up, it will be a long season where you end up, and I told y'all from the jump, this team will end up in 1 or 2 groups, under 5, over 8. Under 5 or under, 8 or over. I'm sorry, 5 or under, 8 or over. I don't believe this is going to be a team that wins 6 or 7. I just don't believe that. If they continue to tackle like this and fail to get off the field on 3rd down like this, that 5 is knocking. It's knocking real hard, saying, come on out. Come on outside. We're not going to jump you. We just want to talk.
And as I mentioned, if you don't get this right on Thursday night, you might start hearing that knock on the door. That's not one you want to get in just week 3. But again, we will touch more on this later in the show. The Locked On Look of the Week is a bullseye on what to be looking for. But coming up next, we're getting into a whole lot of nothing or a whole lot of something. This comes after a quick word from our sponsors. Our first Tuesday sponsor is 5 Hour Energy. It's time to fuel up and then turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of golf course favorites to a non-alcoholic boost. It's perfect for sinking birdies and making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5 Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor that you love without ever leaving the green. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape, ginger, lime flavor of 5 Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without ever leaving the golf course and chasing down the bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. You can just buy, snap, and then enter for a chance to win the dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in America. Yes, that's correct. So tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Again, that's 5hewin.com. Of course, this does exclude the Masters tournament. Hate to burst your bubble there, but any other tournament, it is in play. The sweepstakes will end on October 31st of this year. Our second Tuesday sponsor is FanDuel. The NFL season is now here as well, and FanDuel's making sure that you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your $5 bet wins, you'll get $300 back in bonus bets guaranteed. FanDuel makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or you're just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. It's quick, it's easy, it's simply the best way to add a little bit more energy to your Sundays. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com in order to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. If it wins, $300 back in bonus bets guaranteed. FanDuel, play your game. Middle portion of our Tuesday show. Now time for a whole lot of nothing, whole lot of something. 3 topics. We'll tell you exactly where we stand on them. So first one here, Dave Dorn has released the Week 3 depth chart, and there were a couple changes on it. Now, you might have noticed there was a rotation at right guard on Saturday. You had actually not 1, but 3 different right guards play. Kamen Smith, Yusuf Mugerbil, and Spike Souls. On this Week 3 depth chart, Yusuf Mugerbil is now your starting right guard. Kenton, whole lot of nothing, whole lot of something.
I'll say a whole lot of something. Whoever is the best guy, let him roll. And the offense performed well, so I'm guessing whoever was in at right guard was, or whoever won that right guard competition was rolling. So whole lot of something. I hope that we've put that rotation situation to rest, but it is good to know that if anything happens and we do need guys to rotate in, we have guys that can give us some valuable snaps.
Yeah, clearly the competition was a lot closer than any of us really knew. And it wasn't between 2 guys, between 3 guys. And so if Yusuf Mugerbil both gets the start on Saturday, plays the most consistently down the stretch, then yes, you most certainly have to ride the hot hand. But not just that, but how much better did the offensive line look on Saturday in terms of running the football? Hollywood Smothers had the lanes, and he had 140 yards to show for it. Sometimes it is that simple. You play your best, most consistent player, not just at right guard, but at any position. And if it works, stick to it. So Yusuf Mugerbil, for right now at least, is your new starting right guard. Hopefully get another week of a very efficient offensive line. Whole lot of something. Second one here, CJ Bailey, through 2 weeks of play, is 12th in the country in QBR. Remember when voters put CJ Bailey as like 15th in the ACC in quarterback play? Weird, right? Whole lot of nothing, whole lot of something.
They had Gio Lopez ahead of my boy.
Jokes, man, jokes.
They put what team was it? They said whoever starts. It was multiple guys.
It was Wake Forest. They said Robbie Ashford or Deshaun Purdy is better than CJ Bailey. Got it.
How's that working out for you?
Mm-hmm.
How's that working out? Is it going well? Did you get the girl? Did your check get bigger? Do you feel better? Do you sleep better at night? Because you knew you were lying. We knew you were lying. Whole lot of something. CJ Bailey is being, I'll tell you, Grayson, I'll be quite honest. I expected him to take a jump this year. I've been burned before betting on quarterbacks who had a lot of upside. No offense to the young man that's Coastal Carolina now, but I've been burned quite too many times saying like, "Oh, this quarterback is the future. He's got it," and they just didn't end up having it in the way that I thought that they would have. Right? CJ Bailey. Oh, come on now. He's throwing the ball. He's running the ball. He's making the right reads. And the biggest thing, he's decisive. He doesn't take all day back there and say, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? He's like, you know what? I'm going to tuck it. I'm going to tuck it. And maybe I'll go 30. Maybe I'll go 5. But I'm going to make a decision and get what I get. Or I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it enough for that crosser to get across the field. Boom. Right there on the run. Excellent pass into Teddy Hoffman in game 1. I'm telling you right now, this is a situation where CJ Bailey has looked every bit as good as this QBR says he is. He has looked every bit as good as any metric could say, because other than one pick where, again, if you watch the film and watch it from the angle CJ was looking at, the defender slid behind the ref excellently, pulled off a real Sly Bandicoot move, if you will. He got a little trickery he got a little trickeration there, and it worked out for him. But CJ Bailey, for the most part, other than 1 or 2 passes where I'm like, that could have, if a better defender is taking that the other way, he's been phenomenal this year. So I'm going to say whole lot of something.
I expected CJ to look better this year, but he has even exceeded what I thought that he would look like. And I get it's only 2 games so far, but he's been awesome. His combined QBR is 84.7. That is good for 12th best in the entire country, 3rd best in the ACC conference behind Haynes King and Carson Beck. He's been cooking. And I said immediately after Saturday's game that I thought that might have been his best performance that he put on against UVA. Metrically speaking, it was his 2nd best, but there's still room to grow. Like, you can already see he ain't even really cooking yet. And that makes NC State fans very excited. Last thing I'll say, because I simply cannot help myself, the quarterback that plays in Conway, South Carolina, his QBR is 6.4. 6.4. Thank you, Dave. Okay, anyway, yeah, CJ Bailey, he's doing his thing. We're so happy to see how well he's playing already. Certainly hope he can continue that Thursday night at Wake Forest. Last one here, and this one sucks. It's a bit somber, and there's no choosing because this is a whole lot of something. Beloved NC State Wolfpack fan Chuck Coates has sadly passed away. Chuck is known as the NC State wrestling guy, beloved by everyone. You saw an outpouring of love for Chuck all over Twitter all day on Monday. And so what he means to this fan base, his energy that he put into everyone else, it will be sorely missed. And so that is a whole lot of something.
Yeah, he's truly a one-of-one guy. I never had the pleasure of meeting him, but every time you heard stories about the guy, it was nothing but good things. Yeah. And he was a Wolfpacker through and through. He was a Wolfpacker through and through. That was a guy that supported the program. He bled red and white. And, there was never a moment where you doubted whether or not he cared about the pack, whether or not he cared about each and every member of Wolfpack Nation. So, condolences to his family. If there is a heaven out there for members of Wolfpack Nation, I know he's gone. I know he's definitely going save us a seat up there. So I didn't even know about his professional wrestling career until after he passed. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is, I used to be the biggest wrestling fan in the world as a kid. So to see him doing that, it was pretty good. But may his family find peace and may they know that they have a ton of supporters in Wolfpack Nation. And I speak for both Grayson and I when I say if they need anything, if they need to reach out in any regard, we're both here.
Yeah, that's one badass dude right there. So shout out to Chuck. May he rest in peace. And of course, all the condolences and all the prayers to the Coates family. Coming up next, we will get into the Locked On Look of the Week, detailing some of these run fits that we've been hinting at. This comes after a quick word from our sponsors. Our third Tuesday sponsor is Gametime. College football is back, and we all simply could not be more excited. The tailgates, the rivalries, and the energy in the stands, there's just simply nothing like it. But let's be real. Actually getting tickets can feel like more of a battle than the game itself. There's endless queues, hidden fees, and prices jumping off at checkout. But that is why all football season long, you got to use Gametime. It's the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with zero surprise fees. What you see is what you pay. They also have zone deals, which means you pick the section and Gametime will pick the seats for you. And in doing this, you save big. It's cheaper, it's faster, and it's way less stressful than any other ticketing site around. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, and again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCollege. LOCKEDONCOLLEGE, Locked On College for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. Last couple minutes of our Tuesday show. Now time for the Locked On Look of the Week, detailing exactly what needs to get cleaned up in this NC State defense. Kenton, what do you got for us?
I am not joking. I am not exaggerating in any way. This Locked On Look of the Week was as disappointing as any that I've ever seen, because we all know that I say football is, calculus in the middle of a fist fight, right? It's math in the middle of a brawl, all that good stuff. The coaches are responsible for the calculus part. The players are responsible for the fist fight part. The coaches are responsible for putting you in a position where the numbers work out, where you're playing with their eyes, or you're messing with their offensive or defensive keys and rules in a meaningful way. On this play, Tony Elliott and company tried to get cute, tried to mess with our defense's eyes, and our defense didn't bite. They didn't bite. 4th and 1, we didn't bite. Brandon Cleveland, big fella, gets good penetration. Our defensive line does a great job. Kean Sloan absolutely destroys that tackle. I mean, the young man was on all fours by the end of the play. Sitting up, looking up at him, saying, "Number 8, get your hands off me, dog." That was the type of business and going on that we had there. Unfortunately, as we have learned many, many times, if one guy doesn't do it right on defense, it costs everybody. But imagine if 3 guys don't do it right. That's now effectively 1/3 of your whole deal here, not doing it right. All right, so Virginia goes with a heavy set, and they bring this wide receiver across on a jet motion and have the tight end do what is called an arc release, okay? He takes a fake step inside and then immediately goes for the arc release, okay? Why are they doing that? They're doing that to mess with Caden Fordham's eyes or mess with Kean Sloan's eyes, because if either one of those guys take a step inside, I don't know if y'all remember the early 2000s hit song by Ludacris, but when he said, "Make one false move, I'll take you down," this is it. This is what the offense wants. They want one false move from either of those linebackers, and what they get is a double team on the guy with the red circle around him. That's Caden Fordham if you're listening instead of watching. They want that backside tackle and that guard to double that guy that's in a 4-eye, 3 technique just about. They want to double up to that linebacker. That center has to handle Brandon Cleveland one-on-one. And then the front side guard and tackle have to double up to Sean Brown. And that tight end on the outside has to take on Kenny Soares one-on-one. Okay? That's the premise of this play. And from there, they're hoping that their back can fall forward from one. But as I said, Coach Elliott won this play. I want to make that clear. I'm never going to be a guy to say the coaches are never wrong and the players just got to play better. Sometimes you put your players in a crappy position. For example, if UVA had run speed option to the outside here, they would have been running speed option with 2 lead blockers to our safety and corner out there. So that means they have 4 players, 2 of which have the potential to have the ball against 2 players out there. Hey, if that's the play they run, your offensive coordinator cooked. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. They instead run inside zone, which means DJ Elliott gambled, and he guessed right. Brandon Cleveland is getting across the center's face to the front side A-gap. Travali Price is supposed to get in that backside A-gap. Kean Sloan is supposed to get in that backside B-gap, or if Sloan and Price cannot get into that backside gap, they're supposed to close off that gap with the man that's blocking them's body, Okay. And my man, Caden Fordham, find some work. Find some work. Potentially in that A gap if they can't fill it. But we have a corner for the arc release, and we have a safety for the jet motion. So we're all squared away there. Uh-oh, look at that. Ball snap. Ball snap. Look at Caden Fordham. You see where he is here? Look where he is here. Look at him. First steps. Straight forward towards that A gap. We love that. We love that. And now we take a little further. We've got 3 points of pressure here. We've got Caden Fordham unblocked. I like it. I like it. You and that running back in the A gap together. You are supposed to escort that young man violently into the backfield and say, dude, this is private property. That is what you are supposed to tell him in that moment. And look at that. Who's that over there with that tackle trying to get hands on? Or no, I'm that guard trying to get hands on him. Who's that? Is that Sean Brown? Okay. We got one free guy. One guy, he's got a little pressure on that hip, but you know what? Leading tackler from last year. Make a play. And then, what's going on with that safety? What's going on with that safety? 4th and 1, the tackle and the tight end are giving me true run read. Nobody's getting up the field at all. Nobody's doing anything that is implied. Nobody's kicking back. Nobody's running the route. Nobody's doing anything to imply pass. All right, now I'm running in. Now I want to fill the hole. Go ahead, Mr. Johnson. You've established yourself with a little bit of a reputation as a thumper at Georgia State. Go ahead. Go get you a part of that. Go get you a part of that. We got 3-on-1, Grayson. You'll take those odds.
I'll take those odds.
I'll take those odds. I'll take that deal. 3-on-1, that's a good bet. Again, DJ Elliott, you've done your job, brother. What's this? What's this? How we get here? What we are looking at in this slide, Caden Fordham is on his behind. Sean Brown is grabbing for a leg. And Mr. Johnson is clawing at a ball that does not come out. So we went from 3 points of pressure. By the way, if you know anything about football, you know 3 points of pressure. A lot of people associate that with how you're supposed to carry the ball. That's also associated with how you're supposed to leverage the ball. You've got an inside guy, you've got an outside guy, you've got a guy taking them head on. That's what you want. That's what you want. You cannot get better than 3 guys leveraging the ball. Or in this situation, even if you say Sean Brown's being blocked, he doesn't count. You've got 2 unblocked. You've got Johnson coming down. You've got Fordham coming down. So even if Fordham can't cleanly knock his chin strap loose backwards, you've got a safety to come in there and help you out. So maybe he gets the first, but you live to fight another down. But, you know, I want to go for the ball. I want to get a fumble. I'm not really worried about securing the tackle. Next thing you know, UVA's partying in the end zone. This is the type of stuff. Grace and I talk about this all the time. There is play calling and then there is execution. If a defensive coordinator schemes up 3 players touching a running back, not just touching them, having a decent shot at a running back within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage, I cannot blame him for that play going for a touchdown, especially when guys are flowing to where they're supposed to be. The old adage of coaching is I coach you through your first 3 steps. Everything after that, you've got to go be a football player. You've got to go be an athlete. And on this play, our guys decided, I don't really feel like it. And that's what the result of it is, a player in the end zone.
And again, to reiterate, if you can't get that, as simple as that cleaned up, Damon Claiborne is going to eat us alive. That's exactly what he did against us last year in Carter Finley. He'd be more than happy to do it on his own home turf this year in 2025. Not to mention, and of course, we'll talk more about Wake Forest tomorrow, Damon Claiborne is the reigning ACC running back of the week. He had close to like 200 rushing yards against Western Carolina and also punched the ball in not 1, but 3 times, 3 touchdowns for Damon Claiborne. He is one of the best running backs in the conference. These run fits and the execution, when you get to the run fit, it better show up on Thursday night.
If you want to take your time and play around and tackle like that against Claiborne, let's just go ahead, get back on the bus. Just go ahead and drive on back to Raleigh because it's not going to go well for you out there in Winston-Salem.
That will do it for us here on Tuesday. As always, thank you all so much for joining us. Be sure to hit that like button, drop your comments in the comment box, mash that subscribe button if you have not already. We'll catch you right back here on Wednesday as we detail the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Until then, go Pack.
Go Pack.